Hello and welcome to TechByTosh. My name is Toshit, and in this video we will learn about creating document libraries in SharePoint, applying conditional formatting and color coding on documents and libraries. We will also learn about how to share documents with others and also to get notified when someone made a change in any document. We will also look into Power Automate and how you can restore deleted documents and libraries from within SharePoint, and of course some tips and tricks. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump in. You can create a document library within an existing site, or you may want to create a new site by going to home page and then click on create a new site and then create a document library within the site. Now, if you want to learn about how to create a new site, I've published another video on that and the link is included in the video description. Now let's go ahead and create a new document library within this site. So to create a document library, I basically have a couple of options. I can go to new button from the home page and click on document library, or I can simply click on the settings gear and then site contents on the new menu on the site contents page and click on document library. Now let's create a document library from the home page. Let's just go back to the home page and we can create a document library from that page. So I click new document library. When we hit document library, when we try to create a document library, it will ask you for the document library name and the description of the document library. This is a project site. Let's just call it project documents. Here's a tip. When you create document library names, stay away from having spaces between the words. When you have spaces between the words, it actually creates funny characters within the URL of this document library name. For now, let's just remove the space. Of course, we can change this later. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. We need to provide a description to the site, and then whether we want to enable the site navigation, which basically says if you have it enabled, this document library will appear on the left navigation. We want to have that, so let's just go and create the site. So we have our document library created, but you can see that the name sounds funny. There's no space in between. Now to fix that, we can go back to the settings gear and click on library settings, and then click on list name, description, and navigation. And then that's the name of the document library. We can actually have a space there and click OK. If you notice, the URL of this document library doesn't have spaces in between, but with the name, we have created the space. So there are no funny characters in there. Let's just go back to the project documents library. We click on project documents from left navigation and we are back on the document library. We might have to add some documents to this document library. Now to add new documents to this document library, we can click on the new button and create new documents. You can even upload new documents by clicking on the upload buttons and select files or folder. If you have a full folder on your drive which has number of documents, you can simply upload the whole folder rather than uploading one file here. I have few project files. Let's just go and upload a couple of files. I click on upload files and let's just say TBT, team productivity and the user access policy documents. We go open and then it's currently uploading and I have the documents here. If you don't want to upload documents, you can simply drag and drop as well. Let's have a look what else we can do with this document library or from the new menu. So if I open the new menu again, obviously I can create all these different documents and folders. Now I have a copy of the presentation deck which the project teams are using, and every time they create a new presentation, they want the team members to use that template. Now, to add a new template, I can simply just go add template and select my presentation deck or template. Just click open. It's already there. So what I can do now, when I click on the new menu and I have my presentation template. So whenever someone is creating a presentation for this project, they have to use this predefined template. And they can simply start filling out the details on this template because everything else is all laid out for the users or the team members. Let's just go back to the project documents document library. And I can see that someone has actually created a presentation based on the template that we have provided. Now, if you want to rename it, you can just simply click on this little dots and then click on rename to rename it. We can also edit all of the options that we have under the menu. We can simply just open the menu and click on edit new menu. And on the right hand side, we have all these options. Let's say we don't want users to see forms for Excel, or probably, we don't want them to create any folders. We can just untick these options and click save. And then when we go back to the new menu, we don't have these options. So you have the flexibility of customizing these new options and adding new templates, or editing all these different documents that you want users to use. Do you know that you can actually expand this whole screen? Here is tip number 2. If you are working on a large number of documents and you are struggling with the space, and just to get a nice clear view of your document library, you can simply click on the expand button. It actually hides all your left navigation and moves up a bit, and it gives you a nice little view of your document library. Let's just come back to the normal view. Now that I have few documents within this document library, let's just explore what else we can do with these documents. What options do we have with this? I'll simply go and select this document and click on these little dots to open up different options. So as you can see, we can actually do a lot of things with these documents. We can share these documents, we can copy the link, we can manage access, we can download this document, or even delete the document. If you want to rename, you can rename the document from here. You can pin it to the top because it's an important document and you want everybody to see this document. You can even move this document to a different document library or to a different location, to a different site. So you can copy this document to a different location. You can have a look at the version history of the document. You can create alerts on this document. So whenever someone makes any changes to this document, you get alerted. Let's have a look at the share option. When I click on share, I want to share this document with Peter, and I want to review this document because this is such an important document that I want him to review and need his comments before I present this document to wider audience. So I'll select his name and I'll add a message, please review and provide any comments. So when I click send, what it does is it actually notifies Peter with the link to the document, and Peter can actually open the document. If I open up the presentation, I can see that Peter is already editing this document. He's already here. This is called co-authoring. So if I click on Peter's icon, I can see he's editing slide 2. I can go to the location. I can already see that Peter has made a comment for this. So I can also work on this document and say, this is the more information that I am providing. So both Peter and I are working on the document at the same time. So as I said, this is called co-authoring, and you can have number of users working on the same document. You can avoid sending the document through emails and getting feedbacks on the documents, and then doing the tracking and then putting all the comments and stuff. This is the beauty of SharePoint. This is the beauty of Office 365 or Microsoft 365. All your team members, you can collaboratively work on the same documents and quickly finish the document or finalize the document. Peter has already added his comments to the document. Now my requirements have changed. I no longer need his comments or his feedback within the document. I want to go back to my original version of the document. To do that, I can simply click on these little dots and I can click on the version history. From the version history page, I can see that the original document was created by me. I can simply click on it and click restore, which will restore the original version that I had. The project teams really want to know what is the status of the document, whether the document has been approved, whether it's pending, or whether it's in review. So they really want to know and capture the status of the document itself. Now to do that, we can basically just create a new column to the document library. We can just simply go to add column, and because we have to give number of options to the users to select from, we have choices to make. So we'll just go ahead and create a choice column and we'll call it status. provide some description to the column. Next is the type. We really want to have a choice column because we want to give different choices to the users. Obviously, you can choose a different color for different options. So we'll go ahead and change these to the options that we need. We don't want to add any values manually. We'll just happy with the default values and we'll just go ahead and click OK. So we now have a new column called status. If you have a number of documents within the document library and then you have to assign a column value to all of the documents, it'll be really hard. What we can do is we can simply click on the edit in grid view, which will open up kind of an Excel view for you to select, and it's really handy. So we can just simply say this presentation document is approved and the productivity document is pending approval, and the user access policy is basically under review. And we'll just exit the grid view, and then we have all the columns assigned with different values. Do you know that you can apply conditional formatting to the document library columns or the rows itself? You may want to highlight the whole row with a different background if the value of one of the columns is equals to something. Say for example, you may want to highlight this row with a different color, or other rows with different colors if the value of the status column is equals to approved or pending approval. Okay, let's check it out. So you can actually click on the column name, go to column settings, format this column, and you'll be applying this value for the column name itself. You can click on the conditional formatting, and in this section you can basically apply different formatting. So for example, I want to highlight this column value as a blue color, and then you add a rule, and then you say if the value of one of the columns, for example in this case status, is equals to approved. So if the status value is equals to approved, the value of this column will be highlighted as light blue color, or let's say a yellow color. Right? If you really want to go into more advanced kind of options, you can always click on this little icon and go more styles. So when you go to more styles, you can then highlight the text color of the column values as well. You can even add icons there. You can have the icon colors as well. You can align it right or left. You can apply borders. So there are the different things you can actually do, be more creative and stand out your documents from the document library itself. Now to apply conditional formatting to the rows itself, instead of selecting format columns, we select format view. So this conditional formatting will be applied to this particular view. So we select the list layout, and then we have a couple of options. We can have alternate row styles. So let's check this one out. If you click on edit row styles, you can basically have even rows with a different color and odd rows with a different color. So let's just this gives you a little options to basically reset these styles. Or you can have the conditional formatting based on the rules. So again, this is similar to the column rules that conditional formatting that we just looked at. So you can simply say just let's say have this green color if the value of one of the column is equals to, or if it's not equals to a particular value. For example, in this case we're just saying highlight this color, the whole row with a different color if the value of status is under review. And then obviously you have different options, and you can click on more styles to go into the advanced view. Now let's just say you're dealing with large number of documents, and you are trying to find a particular document. You have different options. You can click on the column name, and you can sort the document based on the column values. You can filter by the column values, or you can even do group by the column value, so it does group by on that. But this is all great, right? But what if you want to create a permanent views, right? So that whenever you come, you don't have to apply all these different filterings on all the documents. You really want to create something where you can just simply go and say, show me everything which is approved, or show me everything, which is modified by a particular person. So this is where the views comes into the picture. On the right hand side of the screen, you will see this little menu which has all documents. Also, all documents is basically a view of this document library. These are the different views. You have a tiled view. It's really handy if you want to present some documents and add this document library as a web part on one of your website's home pages, or showcase your documents. So this is that's really good. But what if you want to create something specific? So you can simply create a new view. You can give it a name. We want to create something where I want to see all the documents which are approved. So I can just say approved documents, and we want to create a list view, and we want to make it a public view so that everyone have access to this view. And we just go create. So it basically has created a view for us. So next, we will open up this menu again and click on Edit Current View to format the view and specify how we want the value to be presented in this view. We can hide some columns, or we can add some columns to this particular view. We can do sorting, we can do filtering, we can apply some filtering for this view, because we wanted to show all documents where the status is approved. So we can simply say that where status is approved. Down below on this page, we have different options to apply group by, apply different styles. So this is all the things which you can do with the view. So we'll just go ahead and click OK. So once we go back to the main screen, you can see it has added some columns, and then we only see the approved documents. Obviously, you can go back to the menu again and select all documents view, which is basically your default view. If you want to make your approved documents view as a default view, you can just simply select on this view again, and then click on set current view as default. Now let's have a look at some of the other features or options that we have within the document library. So first one is edit in grid view. This really comes in handy when you are dealing with large number of documents and you need to make some bulk updates to documents. So you don't have to go through each and every single document to make updates. You can just simply click on edit in grid view and then update multiple documents. So we just made few changes to the status column. The next one is sync. So with this option, you can basically sync this whole document library to your OneDrive folder on your device. This is really handy if you don't want to jump onto a SharePoint to have a look at some of the documents. It will automatically sync everything within your OneDrive library on your device. You can add shortcuts to OneDrive. So what it does is, when I say add shortcut to OneDrive, it actually creates a shortcut within my OneDrive. So I click on my files. So it basically goes to my personal SharePoint site, which is OneDrive for Business, and I can see that it has created a shortcut within my file. So I can just simply click on this, which will take me direct to that document library and open up all the documents while I'm still staying within my personal view or OneDrive for Business or my personal profile. You can also export all the columns and the data within this document library to a CSV file. So if you have a large number of documents and you might want to create a report or create some graphs or something, and you really want everything to be presented within an Excel or CSV file, this feature really comes in handy. You can customize forms. You can create Power Apps. So you need to know how to work with Power Apps. Next one is Automate or Power Automate. You can actually create different flows on this document library. For example, you might want to get notified when a new file is added within this document library, or you can request a manager approval for a particular file that you have added. So we have different, templates which are pre-configured, and you don't need to do any coding or anything to create, these flows using these templates. Now let's talk about alerts. You might want to get notified, when someone added a new document within this document library. I know we've talked about, Power Automate. You can create alerts or customize emails using, Power Automate. But let's just say you don't want to create Power Automate, and you want to get notified whenever someone has added a new file to this document library, or someone made any changes to document library. So this is where alerts comes in handy. You can simply create alerts. You can click on Alert Me, and then you are presented with different options. You can create alerts based on different change types. For example, if new items are added, you want to get notified. You have all these other different options. For example, you want to get notified when someone else changes a document, or the documents modified by you are changed by someone. You can set up alerts to be sent immediately, or daily, or weekly. So this is how you can be on top of your any important documents that you may want to know what is happening with those documents. So who updated the document and what changes has happened to the document. So if you have a large number of documents within a document library, and you want to search for a particular documents, yes, you can do filtering through columns, and you can apply filtering through this little filtering menu. You can apply the filtering and try to find the documents. But do you know that you can also search within this document library? So for example, if I want to search for all approved documents, I can simply say approved and click OK, and this will only show me all the approved documents. I can even search by a name. I can simply enter the name, and when I click OK, the document library then shows me everything which is modified by a particular person. Or you can try to search by name or different column values. If you want to share this document library or this site with other members, you can just simply click on the members icon, and you can add members from this location. Simply enter the name of the person or an email address and add and save, and then you can apply whether you want to promote this person as the owner of this group or as a member. Okay, now what happens if I accidentally delete a document? So let's just try to see what actually happens and how you can recover deleted documents, and then we will also have a look at how you can recover your deleted document library itself. So let's just go ahead and delete this document and see what happens. So we have deleted this TBD, team productivity document, and it has disappeared, and a user has accidentally deleted the document. To retrieve the document, you can simply go to the recycle bin. You can visit the recycle bin from your left navigation. If you don't find this link in your left navigation, you can also click on site contents from the left navigation, or from the settings gear, and then go to site contents. So once you go to site contents, you will see a recycle bin, which is just the top right corner of your screen. When you click on the recycle bin, I can see the document I deleted is within the recycle bin. I can click on restore, and this will restore the document in the document library itself. Now what happens if you delete the document library itself? The whole document library is deleted. This will be a similar process of restoring the document library as we did with the document. So let's try to delete the document library itself. Now to delete the document library, we'll have to go into the library settings. So again, we click on the settings gear and click on the library settings. So under library settings, we can find delete this document library option. We click on delete this document library, click OK, and the document library is now disappeared. So within our site contents, we cannot find this document library. Now we want to restore this document library. Again, we'll go to the recycle bin, which you can click on site contents from the settings gear, click on site contents, and on your right hand side you'll find the recycle bin icon, or you can also find it in your left navigation if it's not hidden by your site admins. So let's click on the recycle bin, and when we click on the recycle bin, we can see there is projects document library. We can click on the document library and hit restore. Now the document library would be restored, but it might not appear in your left navigation. So when we click on site contents, we can see the document library is there. Now to make it appear in your left navigation, you can click on edit and add a document library link, or you can simply click on the document library itself, and then we go to the library settings. Again, library settings, and then we click on the list name, description and navigation item, and we say display this document library on the quick launch, which is the left navigation. We click OK, save, and we can see that this is now displayed in the left navigation. So if I click back home, so this now appears in the left navigation of the site. All right, in this video we learned about document libraries in SharePoint and how to use different features and options from within document library, and of course some tips and tricks. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave your comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That's it for today. I hope to see you next time.